What's going on, guys? It's Plastic Beach X3 back here with the Clover's Crew UA channel. And this time we're going to do a video going over all of the green cards in the Black Clover archetype. And I'm joined here by Money D. Luffy.
What up, what up?
And we're going to go over the cards together. I think neither of us have read these cards yet, so it'll be our first reaction to them. But they must be better than the purple cards, I'm sure. Hopefully.
You know, I'm not sure which is supposed to be better between green and purple, but
Aaron said that the purple deck was pretty good,
mm-hmm.
but I don't
Cool.
know. Just reading this stuff, it didn't like this card is not doesn't seem that crazy
Yeah.
to me.
Right.
But regardless, all right. So far, I think just looking at these, it looks like there's two different archetypes as usual. It looks like it's the excuse me, the Black Bulls and the what are they calling these guys? Just the captains, I guess. So in Black
Mm.
Clover, if you don't know, which Money doesn't,
Yeah.
the Clover Kingdom is divided into seven kingdoms or seven guilds, essentially, that have different leaders. And like Charlotte's a leader of the Blue Rose Knights, and Marileona is a leader of the Crimson Lion Kings. So it must be like a leader, like a guild
Assorted
leader.
villain.
Yeah. Well, they're not villains; they're guild leaders.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So Sister Lily is probably for the Black Bull deck. I don't know. But 2-drop action point 1. 1 energy generation. When played, reveal the top card of your deck. If it is Asta or Yuno, add it to your hand. And if the reveal card is any other card, place it on the top or bottom of your deck. So, yeah, Sister Lily searches Asta or Yuno, which I have no clue how good that is.
So I'm guessing that green will likely have a way to place a card on the top of its deck, maybe, so that you would know ahead of time if it's gonna be Oster, It's still pretty cool that either way you get to filter. Of course, you have to reveal the card, but so it's not the worst card ever. Has a draw trigger.
And is there even like a green? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to the 3-drop, or if you want to read this one.
Yeah, so when played, you're looking at the top 3 cards of your deck. You're getting 1 to your hand, and then you're putting the rest back on top, it looks like. That's kind of cool. If you added a card to your hand, you have to trash 1. Or no, from your hand to the top of your deck or into your sideline. Okay, so first off, I missed that this is a 3/1. This
Yep.
is the color trigger. So you are going to play this in, I'm guessing, the Black Bulls deck, or maybe either one.
Yeah, probably either one.
Maybe either one. It's a double energy generator. This card seems really strong. You get to take one of the 3, and then you put the others back on top. And if you put a card in your hand, you're putting one from your hand to the top or the bottom. So if you go Julius into Lily, Plastic is showing us here the first combo that could work to place an Asta or at the top.
Yeah, and if you didn't know, Julius is the Wizard King, so
Okay.
it doesn't. I don't think
And
this
so
has
even if
anything
you,
to do with his power, but it's a broken card because he's a broken character.
yeah, and a little combo that I see here is even if you didn't have an Asta or before, if it was the card you took searching with this, you can still just put that one back since it came to your hand. So pretty good, pretty good.
And we have Lumiere, Clover, 1 energy, 1 action point, 2 energy generation. Return 1 character on your field with 1 cost to your hand. If you cannot, return this character to your hand.
Classic.
Yep,
There's one in every family.
sure. And then go ahead.
See, I don't know these names though, right? So this is Charlotte here. She's a
I'll say
4/1.
the name and then you read the
Um,
effect.
yeah, cool.
So 4-drop action point 1, 2 energy generation. Charlotte Rosalie.
So this is from the Blue Rose Knights. It's got Step. It's a double energy generator. It's 3,500 base, but during your turn, if you have a Yami, it's gonna gain 500. So it gets it to that nice 4,000 point. It has a draw trigger. Um, Decent enough card.
So
Step's always nice.
yeah, this will be for the like the Royal Knights, I guess, the Knights deck,
Hmm.
kind of. Yami is down here, so looks
Okay.
like he's like the raid card or the boss monster of the archetype. So we'll go through and do those first, then I guess, and ignore the Black Bulls for now. So we have 4-drop action point 1 energy generation Nozel Silva. When it's hacking, if this character has 5,000 or more BP, draw a card. Yeah. It's from the Silver Eagles, so it looks like this archetype isn't going to have like the same affinity, but they're still going to work together. So I'm not sure how you're boosting this. Nothing yet.
Yeah.
But we'll find out, I'm sure. And then we have 4-drop action point 1 Fugalion Vermilion.
So if this has 5,000 or more, it gains impact. So again, hopefully, this archetype does have a way to boost powers of other units. Because yeah, they're getting good effects if they do. So.
Yeah, I'd say this one's definitely better than this one, at least.
Mm.
And then Merleona Vermilion, 0-drop action point 1, get trigger. Pretty standard. Yeah, you can see that the
Raid target.
Yep.
Yep.
Another 2 energy generation, 3-drop action point 1, Merleona. When played, look at the top 4 cards of your deck. Reveal up to 1 character card with 4 or more energy required among them. Add it to your hand. Place the remaining on the bottom, and if you added 1, discard 1.
Okay, so since these archetypes aren't, all the same, it's nice that the searchers let you kind of take anything. I mean, this needs to be a 4-drop or higher, but
This one just needs to be any card. So it's nice that they have a double energy generation, 2 energy generation searchers. Do pretty much the same thing. But one's a color
and it
trigger.
looks like one of the raids here is a 7-drop, so you're gonna want these double energy generation cards quite a bit.
And then we have 7-drop action point 1, 5,000 BP, 1 energy generation, Merleona. You want to give it a read?
So this is gonna raid onto Mary Leona here, and it's gonna get impact 1, and it's gonna get damage 2, which we
Sheesh.
know is very strong from other cards that have had this effect. Um, Always gives your opponent a tough decision as if they want to block it and still take 1, or do they want to just take 2. And then this also has an activate main, and those are static, so you're getting those the turn you play it, and you're getting it the next turn. Activate main, if it's on the front line, once per turn you can choose another character on your field, switch it to active. It gains 1,000 until the end of the turn. So not only is this going to proc those cards we looked at earlier that want to have their BP raised by 1,000, either to draw a card on swing or to gain impact, but you also can effectively give these cards rush. So you can play those 4-drops that turn and then restand them with the raid and give them the boost. So honestly, this is seeming like a fun deck at least, but potentially pretty good.
Yeah, it seems pretty sick so far. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Alright, we have Leopold, 1-drop, 1 action point, active trigger, 2,500. And
Standard.
then it looks like, I'm assuming these Black Bull cards are not going to be part of the archetype, but there is a Yami down here, and we know that Yami pairs with the Charlotte Rosalie. So looks like down here more cards for this archetype, so I'm just going to go here. Unless you want to read Yami first. What do you think?
Yeah, we can look at Yami.
So Yami is a 2-drop action point 1 Black Bull, and then it's Gojo.
Yeah, so this may be a card you want to play outside of the Black Bull archetype because you're going to need to get to 7. These cards don't have triggers, but they're helpful in the decks that need them.
What does this do if you have Yami again? Oh, it just gains 500. Okay, it's not that big of a deal.
Yep.
And then 4-drop 2 action point Yami. If a character on your field has BP higher than its base BP, so this goes with your raid card, reduce this card's AP cost by 1, so it becomes a 4 1 action point. And then during your turn, this card gains 1,000 and damage 2. That's pretty good.
Not bad.
So you can
Yeah.
like raid. So like hypothetically, you could like play a raid for 1 action point, play one of these, activate main, restand, give plus 500, and then like draw off of this as well later, and then you can play this for your last action point. Or if you already have one of these on the field, since it's gaining 1,000, so it satisfies its own effect. So if you have 2 of these, you establish one, and the next turn establish the other one, like you're already, you know what I mean? Because
Not bad.
it's giving itself plus 1,000,
Yep.
so it meets its top requirement. It's pretty
And it's
sick.
a 4K base, so yeah, not bad. Not
Yeah,
a
it's
bad
really
card.
good. It's 5K double damage. Pretty
And
perfect.
then is this the Yami raid here? Not a raid, but it's a 5-drop, 1 action point. It's got okay, so you're probably not going to play this off archetype because this is the color trigger
Yeah.
for the Black Bulls. So maybe we should just come back to this one and
Okay.
finish
But
up
yeah, these
those.
two are really good cards.
Those two you could play
For
off
this deck.
archetype for sure. Yep.
And then William is the Golden Dawn leader. He is 2-drop, 1 action point, 1 energy. When attacking, draw a card, then place one to your sideline. So yeah, they're messing
Decent,
around with like the draw 1, trash 1 archetype cards. So
decent filtering.
it's all right. And then Yuno
Not a
is
bad.
part of the Golden Dawn. He's a 0-drop, 1 action point, active trigger. I'm assuming for a Yuno raid or something. And then Golden Dawn, 2-drop, action point 1, step.
Draw trigger. Not bad.
And then 3 action point 1.
So this one wants you to have Asta. It gains 500 BP if you have an Asta, and then you can return one other character on your field to your hand. If you do, switch this character to active. So it looks like potentially both of the green archetypes will have ways to attack with characters that turn their played, other than raid characters, which can always do that. But
Yeah, this is
so that's pretty
interesting
cool.
because that first effect, if Asta's on the field, it procs your Yami to be 1 action point less.
True.
So also this procs Yami just by yourself if you have another Yami on the field. So it's pretty interesting. And then here's the raid. 4-drop, action point 1, Golden Dawn, raid. When played, if Asta is on the field, look at the top card of your deck and then place it on the top or bottom of your deck. And then when attacking, reveal the top card of your deck, then place it on the top or bottom. If the revealed card is a green character or a site with 3 energy required and 1 AP cost, you may place 1 card from your hand to your sideline and then play the revealed card set resting or perform raid with it. So
Interesting.
So if Asta's on the field, you get to look at the top card, and then when attacking, you get to reveal, assuming what you looked at.
Yep. If it was what you wanted,
Yeah.
right?
And
Because you
then
could just bottom that card if it wasn't, and then you could go in blind for
and
the
then
next one to
also
try and hit.
Julius can stack your deck for you to help you with this.
One thing that stands out to me is that this is a hard 3 required energy, so it's not 3 or less. You want to be stacking 3 drops on your deck, so I'm guessing that 3 required energy is going to be important for some cards here in green. Yeah, the Asta there is 3, so there's a lot of 3s we haven't seen yet, and then some that we had already seen, like the Julius. If you wanted to play that as your color trigger. Although this might go with the other color
I think
trigger
this is gonna
better.
go with the other deck. Yeah.
But some cool stuff for sure that you could do here.
All right, so we'll go into the leader of the Coral Peacocks, Dorothy. 3-drop, 1 action point. If they're the red or purple card, reduce the energy by 1. So.
Classic. There's one in every family.
And the leader of the Purple Orcas, Kaiser, 0-drop, 1K, nullify impact. Pretty standard. And then 0-drop, 1 action point, Jack the Ripper. He's the leader of the Green Praying Mantises. And if you have 6 or more energy generation, this card gains 1,500, and then he's an active trigger.
So this will proc some of those
Yeah, so you probably play this
cards
as
that
zero
want to
drop.
see boosted. Yep, and it's an active trigger. This is probably a very good zero drop for these green decks. Jack the Ripper, incredible.
And then 2 drop action point 1 Real, who's the leader of the Aqua Deer. Activate main. You can only activate this ability if you have 6 or more energy generation. This character generates energy even if it's on the front line until the start of your next turn. And then draw a
Ooh,
trigger.
so we have not seen this since Green Hunter Hunter and Green One Punch Man, of course, with the raid. But for a non-raid card, we have not seen this since all the way in the first set we got in English. So a cool effect for sure. Now,
Interesting.
what's interesting is, you can only activate that if you already have 6. So it's this could get you to the 7th though, right? If you only had 6 in your back line, this could get you to the 7th on the front, and then get you to that raid threshold for the 7 drop.
Okay. Then if I had to guess which one of these is for our archetype, it's probably the Clover Kingdom. Maybe.
So the Clover Kingdom's a 3-drop, 1 action. It comes in active. When you play it, you get to look at the top card of your deck, then place it on the top or bottom, and then activate main. You can tap this to boost all of your characters by 500. So again, activating those cards that want to see increased battle points, and also helping you get the card you want on top of your deck. Maybe whether you're looking for that 3-drop or an Asta or what is it? Or Yumi?
You know.
Yep. So
Yeah.
yeah, this seems like a site you would want to play. It has a get trigger, so
It's alright.
first read it looks like a good card.
And then our special. No, this is an event. So, but you're not finished yet. 3 drop action point 1. Draw trigger. Choose one character on your field and switch it to active. It gains 1,000 BP until the end of the turn. And then if Merliona's on the field, you draw a card.
Not bad.
Yeah.
This is the kind of card that I could see easily sliding in as like a 2 of.
It's alright. I mean,
If you're playing the Mary Leona already,
And I guess
just another way to give a card rush, essentially, another way to boost power and to draw a card. So
yeah, it's alright. And then final. Dark Cloaked Dimension / Equinox, which I believe is Yami's move. 4 drop action point 1 special. Choose one character on your opponent's front line with the BP equal to or less than the highest BP of the characters on your field, and then sideline it. Different.
yeah, reasonable. With all of the BP boosting that deck has, you should easily be able to remove a 5k with that special. And the rate itself there, right, is a 5, so
For sure. Pretty good.
yeah, not the worst special.
And then the other special, I would assume this is for the Asta Uno deck.
I just noticed that special costs 3. What was the raid card that wanted to see a 3 cost on top? Was that the
We can read
and so does it let you get no character or site? Okay, so you can get the site with this, but you cannot get the special.
Yeah, that'd be
okay.
A little busted.
Yeah, so Knight archetype seems cool. I don't know if Knight was the right word.
I don't know. I would call like the guild leaders. I don't even know.
The guild leaders archetype seems decent. I'm excited to sleeve this deck up.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's check out the Black Bull.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
All right. So Black Bull's Asta 0 drop action point 1. Get trigger.
I mean, you got to be able to get your protagonist, right?
Then Asta 1 drop action point 1. 1 energy generation. Activate main. Place 1 card from the hand on top of your deck. If you do, this character gains 1,000 BP until the start of your next turn.
Another way to stack your deck for those cards that want you to have either an Asta or, the other character or a 3-drop, so seems good.
And then 3-drop action point 1 Asta Raid. So notably can be played off of your off the top. And then your opponent cannot activate draw abilities during trigger checks if you are using this character.
Ooh.
And then during your turn, if is on the field, all characters on your field gain 500. So it's a 4,000 if Yuno's on the field. And then when attacking, reveal the top card of your deck. If the reveal card has 3 required energy, this character gains impact 1 until the end of the turn. And then place your reveal card on top or bottom. So yeah, pretty cool. Pretty good.
Yeah.
You can play it off
Is I'm guessing that negating an ability of another card is maybe flavorful for Asta. I don't know.
Yeah, 100%. Because he has the anti-magic. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, this seems fun.
Seems like I don't know. It kind of feels like Demon Slayer, like Austin, or like Nezuko and Tanjiro.
And then of course it also reminds me of Bomber from Hunter x Hunter, with wanting to have specific cost on the top of your deck and having lots of different ways to filter that and stack that.
Alright, so now we have Swallowtail. 3-drop action point 1. Raid from Nero.
So have we seen Nero yet at all?
Nero is this guy down here, this bird.
Okay, so we'll get there.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is just a rare raid, so we've seen these sometimes be decent, sometimes not. So this one is going to draw you a card when you raid it, and then it has an activate main. If it's on the front line, you can place the top card from this raided character into your sideline. If you do, choose up to one character on your opponent's front line and switch it to resting. It will remain set to resting the next time it would be switched to active. So as far as I can remember, this is the first time we've seen an effect like this. Place the top card of this rated character. So this is gonna
draw a card and then
it's gonna become Nero again. It's gonna replace itself in your hand, and then it's going to it's going to rest something and freeze it. So this is pretty cool.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then we'll go to Charmy, I guess, next. Charmy is a 0-drop, 1 action point. Black Bull, when played, choose up to one other character on your field. It gains 1,000 BP until the end of the turn with an active trigger, 500 BP. So,
Classic.
Worst Mosquito Girl. It's an active trigger, so that's good.
Yeah, and it's a 0.
Mosquito Girl's a 1-drop draw trigger.
Yeah.
And then Nero, the thing that you can play over with that raid card, 0-drop, 1 action point, Nero. Activate main, switch to resting. It gains double energy, and then you have to trash it.
Ooh, so this reminds me of the C2 from Purple Code Geass, which you can tap this to generate the extra energy, and then you could raid this into the Swallowtail, and then when the Swallowtail goes away, the fact that you had tapped that for the extra energy, that text would be forgotten by the game. So you would not lose that card. It would stay in your front line as a blocker. It would have moved to the front line on the raid, but it would then stay there. So that's pretty cool.
Or like you can just like tap it, go double energy, play over it, restand it, tap it again, draw a card, whatever.
Well, it would have to be in the front. It would be in the front for you to have gotten the raid off.
Right? Why?
Because this needs you to have it on the front line to activate.
Yeah.
But still cool utility.
Yep. Right,
and then the 1-drop Nero is gonna have a draw trigger, and when you play this one, you get to draw a card, and then it's draw one, trash one, essentially. So also not bad, fair enough. I don't know, if the decks would really be able to afford to play this mini raid archetype, but you're gonna want to play 0s and 1s anyway, and these cards are decent, so I think it's definitely reasonable that you would play this little trio of cards.
Yeah, maybe just play these, but I don't know. It's
but then playing one to two of the Swallowtails is reasonable then. if you're already playing Nero. Anyways, we've seen these Yamis, right?
Yep.
And then the Swallowtail is a 3-drop. Then so,
Yeah, true.
yep.
And then we have Yami, 5-drop, action point 1. Not a raid, 4,000 attack. It's a color trigger. And then when played, you may pay 1 AP. If you do, choose one of the following. Choose up to one rated card on your opponent's front line and place its top rated card into their sideline.
Mm.
Or draw 2 cards. Activate main if on the front line once per turn. Choose one character on your field. It gains 1,000 BP until the end of the turn. So it kind of works with both.
I kind of like this card.
Yeah, it kind of works with both archetypes.
Which is interesting because I feel like both of the color triggers do.
I mean, it makes sense because Yami is a leader of the Black Bulls.
Okay.
So
Okay.
if he goes with the leader deck.
Yeah. So that might be one of the harder decision points when building green black clover. Then is which color trigger do I play? Do I play 4 of 1? Do I play some combination of 2 and 2, 3 1?
Yeah, true. I could see both.
That
I mean,
is,
you do
yeah.
have the same card essentially, but it's just not a trigger.
The fact that they put the color trigger on both of those cards to me tells me that they don't want you to be able to play 4 of each in both decks.
Yeah, that's fair.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be an interesting deck building point there.
We already saw Yuno and William.
Hmm.
We saw the rest of these.
We've got a few different events, right?
We have one event, yeah.
Oh, okay, so the other special is Rivals. This one is a 3 cost, and you choose a character with 2,000 or less BP on the front line and sideline it. But if you have either Asta or Yuno, you get to choose a 4K, and if you have both, you get to choose a 5K. So it's looking like if you want to play the Asta Yuno raid pair, you're probably going to want to play almost every Asta and Yuno that you can.
Yeah.
This
The other one's down
this
here.
other special is decent too, but
And there's 2 more Asta Yunos, or 1 more of each down here.
yeah. So these are from the rare pack that you get in the starter deck. So buying a starter deck, you would be guaranteed to get one of each of these green cards. And so the first one is this Asta. It's a 2/1, 3,000 plus BP, single energy. So it says that you can treat this card as if its required energy is 3 while it's in your deck. So already very cool. It has Nullify Impact, and then during your turn, if you have a Uno, it's going to become a 35 instead of a 3,000, which for a for a 2 cost rather, is pretty cool.
I don't get the first line. What does that mean?
So remember the card that wants your top card to cost 3?
Oh, yeah.
So this is saying that it costs 3 if it's on the top of your deck.
Yeah.
Or anywhere in your deck, but on top, right? So if it's on top of your deck, it costs 3. But if you're gonna play this, it's just a 2-drop. So yeah, that's pretty good. It doesn't have a trigger, but it's an Asta and it's Nullify Impact. I think you would want to play this card.
Yep. And then the last green card is 1 action point, 1 energy, 1 energy generation. Step when played, if Asta's on the field, look at the top 2. Place any other number of them on the top of the deck in any order, and then place the remaining cards on the bottom of the deck in any order. So you get to stack your top 2 essentially. If you want to keep them, you can keep them, and if you want to move 1 to the bottom, you can. If you want to move 2 to the bottom, you can.
Yep, and then it's a 1-drop, it's a stepper, it's a raid target, so decent card. And again, so those 2 cards come in a promo pack that's in the starter decks. And so, I was curious to see what the values of those cards are.
I actually think both these decks are like pretty good.
Yeah, they both seem fun and potentially powerful. Especially the captain's one, I think.
Yeah, the captain one has like the classic green like ramp into a big body that has like really good effect, like a crazy effect, and then the other one is like I said, it's like a Tanjiro Nezuko yellow,
Mhm.
where like you're just
Yep.
going, into Asta and spamming the board with those two. So
Mhm. You don't get to cheat and attack like Tanjiro and Nezuko, but
there's not a lot of like a ton of different cards. I feel like maybe you're gonna play like a lot of the same cards in both decks, just like fill out spots.
potentially, yeah. Can we look at the site again? Okay. Yeah.
So it kind of works for both too.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
All right. So, looks like green probably looking better than purple.
Yeah,
Um.
at least better than the mill out purple, the
Mm,
dark triad.
yeah. Gotcha. So maybe just overall a better color. Maybe this purple Asta deck is better than either of the green decks, but just as far as
Yeah, I could see it being good, but yeah.
color versus color. All right.
Cool. All right. Well, make sure to like and subscribe the video if you like these types of videos. Make sure to subscribe to the Clover Screw UA channel. We post every other day of Union Arena content. So, anything you want to say, Money?
Yeah, so we'll have the red cards coming up soon, and then shortly after that, we'll have games with these cards on the channel. So definitely like and subscribe, and come back to watch the Black Clover decks in action soon.
All right. Peace out.